Hey viewers, welcome to Joe's Bench. I'm Joe. Today I wanted to just show you guys the new butt plate for the stock that I made out of aluminum. So here you go. Come out pretty good, nice and shiny, using that Mother's Mag and aluminum polish. Love that stuff. It just made three polishes after some 220 grit sandpaper, and that's what it looks like. Pretty decent. You could even make that look even better if I went finer grain on the sandpaper. But anywho, pretty happy with how it came out. Let's give her a spin move here. And definitely loving it. Really kind of adds to the gun, makes it look even sweeter than it already did. We've really polished this turd, because this what this thing started with was a turd. So anywho, how I ended up making this thing was, because I didn't want to grind all that out, that's a lot of work, I ended up actually CADing it in my favorite 3D CAD software, which is Tinkercad, baby's first CAD, basically. That way I could get that round, I could do it all nice with the serrations and everything, and get that shape in there without having to do, with the minimal amount of work, hand work, basically. So as I said, I did Tinkercad, and then once I was happy with the whole deal, and how I got this shape in, which is the hard part, was I actually took this piece and traced it out on a piece of thick paper, took a picture of the tracing, made an SVG file out of it, which stands for Scalable Vector Graphics. Then I was able to bring that into Tinkercad, had that shape, get it all dimensionally correct, and then start to put on the round here, and then the serrations, and that sort of thing. I made it a little bit fatter than what I needed to, just a little bit, but like I say, once again, trying to keep it down to the work down to a minimum. So once I was happy with the design, I 3D printed it until it was perfect, until it was as good as I could get it there. Once I was happy with that, and it looked like it was going to fit the gun right and everything, then I actually moved it over to a CNC router, threw a piece of 1/2-inch plate aluminum on here, and then cut this out. I did all that rounding and all these serrations and all that work, and so at the end of it, the only thing that needed to happen was just be shaped in. These holes were probably the hardest part, because I had to be exact, so I didn't throw the work off. And the holes were already there, so trying to get that all perfect I spent probably over a couple hours trying to just line that up and make sure I got those holes, so I only had to drill them once. If I screwed it up, then I'd have to remake the whole piece over again. So we managed to get that. The only other issue was this is curved, okay, quite significantly. That would take a lot of grinding work. So I actually decided to not bother with that, and then because it's a lot easier to make this stock flat than to try to curve this. So I just flattened that down. It just had that slight little bow in it, and then I was able to just put that on there, and we were good to go. And I'm happy with that. That feels good. It's not like the top of this thing really has a little bit. Has a little bit of bend on the textured part of it, side of it, but not much. So anyways, that saved me a ton of work just doing that. Not like the stock is, to the gun, a matched piece of the gun. It's, something I bought aftermarket. So, I mean, from the manufacturer, but after the fact. So anyways, got that. It looks good. I'm happy with how it came out. I think it's really added to this gun quite a bit. Like I say, when I first started this gun, it was a real turd. But we have since went to polishing on that turd, and that is what we have came up with, and I think it looks pretty great. I'm proud to pull this gun out at the range, no question about it. If people know what it is, they're shocked, because it's like, you don't see these Rough Riders generally, they're out there, but generally they look quite this good at this point. So, and then the other reminder was that I know these are supposed to come up for sale today, but it's probably going to be actually tomorrow or the 3rd that I'm going to put them up for sale. then I'll be back to work, and then it'll be a lot easier to ship everything. So just going to wait a minute because I don't want people buying it and waiting on it for a couple of days. So right there, if you want to get yourself your all metal ejector for these, I will be selling them. You know, quantities are limited. I'm one guy making these things in my garage, and they actually take quite a bit of time to make one really well. So anywho, I'm going to leave it there. Have a great day, and talk to you next time.